The beloved companies grow by proving with their actions that they have their customers' best interest in mind. Now, companies only achieve this when their leaders and organization realize the paradoxical reality that to achieve your goal, you need to first enable your customers to achieve their own. Cole Haan, for example, the global shoe manufacturer, has a whole laboratory about imagining each of your lives in shoes. They think of you doing every kind of thing in every shoe. For example, they know women who wear crazy shoes like mine, for example, start to get a little pain in the back of our leg after a certain amount of time, which is why that shoe you see there actually has gym shoe or sneaker technology in it. And yes, they make the men wear the pumps as well. Kind of love that. Would you make your mom keep reintroducing herself to you? Of course you wouldn't. But around the world, in everything we do as customers, we have to keep telling companies who we are, who we talked to last, why we're so important to them, our value, right? Can you relate? Yes! That's why I'm so enamored with Stitch Fix and the story of what they've done to build You Know Me as their growth engine. Think of them as Netflix for clothes. So this is for people who prefer somebody to suggest outfits for them. They come up with a box of 5 things, and they start with a number of really interesting things to know you and your life. Number 1, you fill out a form. It's interesting, but the form is not about clothes, but how you live your life. Number 2, they ask you to send in your Pinterest pins. So now they're starting to build a dossier. Number 3, they apply AI, so they're now starting to understand by groups of customers who are similar to you, what are some things that you might like? But here's where the magic comes in. They have over 4,000 stylists who also not only look at all this information, but continuously improve each box that they send to you by watching what you send back, by conversing with you, and by getting your information. My girlfriend Mindy was going through breast cancer, and she told her stylist, you know, I need some loose clothes to go through my chemotherapy. Of course, she got a box of comfy loose clothes, but she also got a bouquet with a personal note. A little while after Indra Nooyi was named the CEO of PepsiCo, she went back to India to visit her mother. And her mother said, Indra, wear something nice, which she did. Come into my home and sit on the couch, which she did. And what was interesting was a whole line of people came into the home of Indra's mom, and of course, they acknowledged Indra. But then they went right to her mother and congratulated her for raising a daughter who would become CEO. Now, what was interesting for Nooyi, you know, here she is, she just became the CEO of PepsiCo. She was reflecting on it and thought, you know, that makes perfect sense because it was my dad and my mom and the values they instilled at me that enabled me to be the kind of leader that I am. And so, after that day, she began to do something that she thought she owed the parents of her key executives. She handwrites a letter to the moms and dads of each of her top leaders saying, thank you for the gift of your child to the company. Thank you for instilling who they are to let us become who we can become. As technology is becoming a bigger and bigger part of our lives, what's important is to level out the purpose of technology, which is to enable care. But it takes starting with that life to know when to wire the technology in. And I have to tell you, an app alone will not get us there. Yes, if you're lucky, your refrigerator repairman will keep you posted on when he or she will get to your home. But it's the man or the woman and how they welcome you, and if they put booties on their feet, and how they care for your furniture, that tells you the kind of mom they've got. Yes, you can walk completely through an airport without talking to a human, but it's that gate agent who notices that you're frantic because you're about to lose and miss your flight, who honors you with grace because he or she have been honored themselves. Every relationship that a customer has with a company starts because we've chosen to trust that company. We trust realtors to help us find a home. We trust doctors and nurses and healthcare professionals to take care of us and to make us better. We trust technology people to help us find solutions. And the question is, why don't we trust customers back in return? Trust given is trust received. So that's why I want to tell you my last story of the day about Lemonade Insurance. A young disruptor company, to be sure. Fingers crossed that they'll continue on this direct trajectory. But what's important and interesting is the origins of, and the business model that they created that's all about conscience, community, and mom-like behavior. Number one, when you sign up for Lemonade Insurance, flat rate percentage of what they're going to charge you. No rigmarole, shenanigans, crazy not knowing what the pricing is going to be. Number two, they ask you for your charity of choice. This is to create community so that when you put in your claim, what's left at the end of the year goes back to the people, the communities that we care about. And number three, something I was giggling about when I found it. When you file your claim, many high percentage, like in the 90%, that they take care of within 5 to 10 minutes, you actually do it on their mobile app. You talk to their bot, AI Jim, and you have to look into the bot and film a loyalty pledge. Very mom-like. Remember when mom said, "Are you telling the truth?" I promise AI bot Jim that I'm telling the truth, so help me, mom. And this, again, this trust is yielding growth for this business. Our responsibility really is simple. It's to improve lives. We're all dealt life, and we get to choose if we're going to be a giver or a taker. Leadership bravery in business breeds givers. People whose personal behavior earns admiration, human and financial prosperity, and yes, growth. How we choose to correct something that goes wrong, how steadfast we are in delivering the goods, ensuring quality, and giving our people what they need sends a signal to our customers, to our employees, and to the marketplace about who we are and what we value. So choose. Choose to enable employees to bring the best version of themselves to work. Choose to get rid of the soapy moments that make us crazy. Choose to start with the life. Choose to create a balanced relationship between your customers and your employees and partners where both sides win.